It's May 26th, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today. In this show, we talk about the fact, the strategy that Michael Saylor bought more Bitcoin, and we get into the specifics. Also, Bitcoin makes a record weekly close at over 109,000. Why that's bullish. We also talk about the 55 million, that's right, 55 million beneficiaries of strategy of MSTR. Also, we get into the history of strategy. There's going to be some things in here I don't think some of you were aware of. I was actually surprised by one or two of those things. This video is not financial advice. Please do comment below. Just comment for support. Let me know what you're thinking, where you're watching from, and just really do support the channel that way. So thank you. And let's dive on in. Okay, today we're going to start with the fact that Strategy has acquired 4,020 Bitcoin this past week for 427.1 million at an average 106,237 per Bitcoin. It has achieved a Bitcoin yield of 16.8% year to date of 2025. As of 5/25/25, we hodl 580,250 Bitcoin acquired for $40 billion at an average 69,979 per Bitcoin, MSTR, Strike, and Strife. So Michael Saylor keeps tapping that ATM, keeps taking advantage of that MNAV, and keeps stacking Bitcoin, which is the one thing that all long-term shareholders want him to do. So thank you, Michael Saylor. I appreciate you. I love it. I'm stoked per usual. And he did promise it was coming. He says, I only buy Bitcoin with money I can't afford to lose. I love that. I always tell people, don't move to Puerto Rico until you're ready to keep the money you make, because yes, we have a very favorable tax situation down here in Puerto Rico. We have the Bitcoin therapist saying this company is easily worth $1 trillion. And then it just kind of goes through the stats here of the price, the 3-month return, 31%, the 1-year return, 139%. Since inception of the Bitcoin standard, 2,889%, what the market cap is, the enterprise value, the trading volume, the Bitcoin count, which now is 580,000. Love this stuff. So happy to be an owner of these shares. Bitcoin Archive says, Justin, Bitcoin made another weekly record close at 109,000. That is absolutely awesome. Last week, it made a weekly high close at like 106, which was huge. This week it's 109. We'll see what this upcoming week has in store for us, but very strong looking moves here for sure. Let's move on over to BitStrategy, who says, with 55 million beneficiaries of its leveraged Bitcoin performance and counting, Strategy plays a pivotal role in widespread adoption. Forget the Lightning Network. Strategy is the real layer 2 of Bitcoin. There's 13,000 institutions that hold MSTR. That's Vanguard, BlackRock, Fidelity. There's pension funds. There's insurance. There's sovereign wealth funds. There's 814,000 retail accounts. Many of the people watching right now are one of these, myself included. There's over 500 ETF funds. What do you think is going to happen when the S&P 500 becomes one of these? Absolutely insane. And Jeff wants us to know, or wants to ask us, what's more powerful than a Mag 7 moat? How about a digital capital moat? Let's go. Digital capital moat. That is the definition of MSTR. And from software to hard money, the evolution of strategy. This is a really interesting post by Chris I wanted to share, because Strategy's journey is marked by radical reinvention and fearless conviction. It's a story defined by breathtaking highs and brutal lows, and a testament to the power of persistence and resilience. In November of '89, founded as a niche data analytics firm helping enterprise make better decisions through business intelligence tools, in June of 1998, it goes public during the frenzy of the dot-com boom, riding the wave of excitement around the internet-era tech companies. In March 2000, the stock price soared to an all-time high of $333 per share. That's split adjusted, cementing its status as a dot-com darling. In July of '02, the stock price plummets to an all-time low of 42 cents. I mean, imagine riding 333 to 42 cents. I mean, insane. Almost wiping out the company. Keyword almost. In August of 2020, makes history by becoming the first public corporate company to adopt Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset, because it survived. For these 18 years, it survived as a company. I'm not saying it thrived, but it survived. In February of 2024, it rebrands as a Bitcoin development company. In October of 2024, with over 1% of the total Bitcoin supply, now we're nearing 3%, by the way, it establishes itself as the world's first Bitcoin treasury company, redefining corporate balance sheets. In February of 2025, officially rebrands to Strategy B, reflecting its full transformation into a Bitcoin native capital markets company. From a software startup to a Bitcoin backed monopoly, the evolution is complete. And here we go, as Chris always follows up with these great graphics, all the way to Strategy with that Bitcoin B. Strategy. Let's go. Love that. And now we have some awesome videos that you're not going to want to miss of Michael Saylor. So take it away.
We're at this inflection point, moving from economics as art, colored by superstition and religion and ideology. And we're crossing this boundary where economics becomes science, and it's informed by mathematics and engineering, right? And the scientific method. But, you have to date that, in my opinion, to January 3rd, 2009, when Satoshi unleashes Bitcoin, and there's a singularity, and all of a sudden there's actually engineering, physics, and mathematical principles that are starting to spread in a viral fashion through the economy. And it was like a nothing, and then it's $1 million fire, and then $1 billion network, and then a 10 billion, then 100 billion. Now it's a $1 trillion network, but still $1 trillion is 0.1% of the economy. So 0.1% of the economy has clean money, and 99.9% of the economy runs on dirty, toxic assets that are defective, that are operated by people that don't know they're trading defective assets. Because how would you know if you'd never seen clean? How do you know that you're dirty? I don't think it's debt. It's convertible debt. It's unsecured, no recourse.
No recourse.
What that means, Ron, is that Bitcoin could go from $100,000 to $1,000. The debt's not getting called. There is no recourse. Bitcoin can go to $1. You see, Bitcoin can literally go to 1 penny. The debt doesn't have. There's no call feature, and so it's like basically someone loans you billions of dollars, and you agree that in 5 years you will either pay them back in cash or in stock. But you know what happened is, if Bitcoin crashed by 75%, the stock would trade down. We would just pay off the debt with stock. So the risk isn't in the debt so much as it's in the equity. But the point, and people are like, oh, well, that makes the equity more risky. Well, yeah, that's the point.
Online shopping has never been easier, but this ease is new enough that we remember a time when entering all our credit card info every time we purchased something online was the norm. Luckily, we don't have to do that anymore thanks to Shopify. That's right, that purple Shop Pay button that makes it seamless to purchase online is powered by Shopify. And Shopify doesn't just make it easy to buy, it makes it incredibly easy to start a business, no matter your experience. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and they make it super easy to get up and running with beautiful, ready-to-go templates and built-in marketing and email tools. Worried about tracking inventory, payments, and analytics? No stress. Shopify helps you manage it all from a single dashboard. And back to that iconic purple Shop Pay button, it's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/MSTR. Go to shopify.com/MSTR, shopify.com/MSTR. So check it out. I know we're all looking to stack more Bitcoin and MSTR, and to do that, we need more fiat. So let's chat about our sponsor, ShipStation. We all know the market can seem pretty chaotic at times, but if you're in charge of order fulfillment for your business, you already understand chaos. While we might not be able to help calm the chaos in the market, ShipStation is here to help when it comes to shipping and fulfillment. I've used ShipStation to easily automate shipping to customers around the globe. My favorite part about the platform, managing orders in one simple dashboard makes an otherwise massive task feel pretty darn simple. Plus, ShipStation not only integrates with the services and selling channels you already use, it's also the fastest, most affordable way to ship products to your customers. ShipStation hooks you up with discounts up to 88% off UPS, DHL Express, and USPS rates, and up to 90% off FedEx rates. Calm the chaos of order fulfillment with the shipping software that delivers. Switch to ShipStation today. Go to shipstation.com/MSTR to sign up for your free trial, or click the pinned comment below this video. That's shipstation.com/MSTR. And thank you for supporting our sponsors that allow myself and my team to continue to produce these daily videos for you for free. Now back to the show.
Now that we've gotten there, now what? What's next?
Every day for the past 4 years, I've said, buy Bitcoin, don't sell the Bitcoin. I'm going to be buying more Bitcoin. I'm going to be buying Bitcoin at the top forever. I joked with Dave Portnoy today. He said, I missed it at 10,000. I missed it at 20,000. I missed it at 100,000. I said, Dave, it's still less than $1 million a coin. You're getting a 90% discount from $1 million a coin. I'm sure that I will be buying Bitcoin at $1 million a coin, probably $1 billion a day of Bitcoin at $1 million a coin. And so I think it's a very simple idea. It's just keep buying Bitcoin with your spare capital. It's going to appreciate against the dollar forever. You buy Bitcoin, you hold it for more than 4 years, Joe. That's my advice to everybody.
For anyone, buy it and hold it for more than 4 years. And then you think eventually it takes how much, let's say it is digital gold, what percentage of gold's market cap does it finally?
Bitcoin's 0.1% of the capital in the world right now. I think it's going to go to 7% of the capital.
7%.
My long-term forecast is it's going to go to 13 million over 21 years.
13 million.
13 million. But what is it 5 years from now? In your 4-year calculus.
It's been growing 44% a year with about a 40 to 50 vol. I would think it'll move on at 40%, then click down to 35, then 30, then 25. And at some point, it'll be the S&P return plus 8%, and it'll be the S&P vol plus 8%, because it's always going to be a more global, open, free capital market. Bitcoin's an expression in this view that you want to invest in an asset without counterparty risk, which means you don't want to be counterparty to a country, a currency, a city, a company, a commodity, or a culture, right? So people think it's a risky thing. It's all about people wanting to not take risk. They don't want to guess whether Picasso's or real estate in New York or Nvidia stock will be higher in 10 years. They want to buy money. They want to buy 1/21 millionth of all the money in the world forever.
And there you have it, another episode of MSTR Today. And I'm going to be doing something different every now and then at the end, I should say, of these episodes. We're going to call it Hold the Line, because what is our goal here? Our goal is, of course, for over time, especially in the long term, for strategy, for MSTR to go up and to the right. Of course, we want volatility. We want it to go sharply up and sharply down. We know that volatility is vitality. We know that volatility is a feature, not a bug. But at the end of the day, on June 30th at 7 p.m., Q2 will close, and we want Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin, to be over $97,000. Because if that happens, the last box will be checked for strategy to qualify for the S&P 500. There will still be a process to go in there. It's not going to be an immediate thing, but they'll qualify and the inevitable march will begin. And if it's anything like the QQQ, there will be a lot of front running on that. So I'm not going to be off sides. I will tell you, I am waiting for that to happen. So as you can see right here, I have 109,297. I'm going to have to probably adjust this if Bitcoin keeps going up a little bit here, because I had made this back when I thought 109 was going to be the top for a little while, but that's not the case, and that's a good thing. But you can see that green line. That's kind of approximately where we're at, give or take. It's always going to fluctuate. And then the red line below at 97K, that's the line that we want to hold. So hold the line for 35 more days. The countdown is on. If we can do this, if Bitcoin can close above 97,000 on June 30th at 7 p.m., the MicroStrategy MSTR will qualify for the S&P 500, and then we'll see what happens. There's still a committee for inclusion and blah, 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 but the inevitable march will begin. I believe it's inevitable. I think a lot of you know it's inevitable as well. And like Michael Saylor says, there is no second best.
What's the second best? There is no second best.